Huh?
I said quit losing him. You're gonna lose only one time.
Lots of interesting variety of stuff today I read. I guess the first one was in the Oscars. It says Parasite earns Best Picture Oscar first for a movie not in English. So as they say, basically this movie was made in South Korea and it's the first time ever that a non-English movie actually won the awards. I guess that's great. It's great to have like the variety and diversity and all that. Then again, I know in the situations like this nowadays, it's probably going to turn to a situation where it's did that thing actually deserve it, or did they just do this for perception's sake, so to speak, like for political reasons? That's probably what's going to happen, unfortunately. As it says in the article, 92 years of Oscar history were shattered Sunday night when the South Korean hit Parasite became the first film not in the English language to win the Academy Award for Best Picture. The class struggle thriller faced stiff competition for Hollywood's top trophy from movies that included Quentin Tarantino's showbiz epic Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the billion-dollar comic book film Joker, and Martin Scorsese's Netflix crime drama The Irishman. But Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho, managed to pull off the final win in the moment that had audience members in the Dolby Theater leaping to their feet. The historic victories made front-page news in South Korea, where Baek Young-hoon, 50, a sole officer worker and avid bong bang, noted, "The South Korean movie industry became 100 years old last year." In my opinion, it should be good, but I guess we'll wait and see again just to see what people's reactions are overall and whether or not it actually changes any types of landscapes in that particular industry. I guess this was good news. Basically, in Australia, they had all those bushfires, and you saw all those horrifying videos of all the animals and stuff, I guess, just getting burned in the fire. Well, this one here says, drones and thermal imaging saving koalas injured in the bushfires. Victorian Forest and Wildlife officers, with the help of Australian Defence Force, are using drone and infrared technology in a search and rescue operation for koalas affected by the recent bushfires. So you can see all these pictures and stuff that they have where they fly the drone, I guess, with the thermal to detect where the koalas are. You can see a guy in the back of a van, it seems like, with all the picture monitoring. And with that, once they detect it, I guess they save it. So in my opinion, that's really cool, using the tech in a great way. It makes you wonder if, again, like a regular individual could use their drone in that way too, or whether or not some regulations in various places would say, nope, you can't use it, whereas they can. Because in certain situations, in my opinion, it is just a flying camera for the most part. It's not like a huge aircraft. If you can use it to save lives and stuff, then why not? I guess with that in mind, with drones and regulations, here closer to home, there's apparently this protest around here with a pipeline, and people are trying to stop them from actually going through with it. And because of that, you have protesters and RCMPs, I guess, conflicting with each other. And apparently, if this is true, I mean, I checked everything so far and I couldn't basically find the information to verify it. They're saying they're banning drones, like I guess regular people, from using them to monitor the situation and all that. This one says, dozens arrested in Vancouver as RCMP raid on Wetsuweten drags on. I could be butchering the name too. I'm not sure that's the right way to pronounce it. Wetsuweten? That's how I'll say it. It says a third Indigenous camp is facing court-ordered removal Monday in northern BC to make way for the $6.6 billion coastal GasLink pipeline. The Wetsuweten Nation has faced increasing police presence on their territory since early January, where hereditary chief evicted pipeline workers and police from their land. On Thursday, RCMP began removing Wet'suweten land defenders and supporters from camps along a snow-covered logging road to make way for the $6.6 billion coastal GasLink pipeline. Police say they are enforcing an injunction issued by the BC Supreme Court in December, while Wet'suweten hereditary leaders say they are upholding Wet'suweten laws on their own land, where they still hold the title rights. So that's in a different area of BC to my knowledge, because I know here in Vancouver, as it mentions, in the port they said, a bunch of people are blocking that area as well. I didn't actually pass by that way recently to actually see it. And it says, as of Monday morning local time, land defenders announced RCMP are now reaching a third Wetsuweten camp where a healing lodge and elders are standing ground. So this is the interesting part that got me kind of curious, because it says here in their quotes and stuff in their tweet, it says, this is the RCMP. Police announced over a megaphone according to a tweet by the Unist'ot'en Camp. The airspace is now restricted. Do not operate any drone in this area. So to my understanding, the people protesting are recording the situation because they're claiming they're doing a peaceful protest, for example, and they're saying, I guess the RCMP is using excessive force potentially, so they want to record everything, which involves using, I guess, regular cameras from their phone and also aerial views. So even more details, like in their tweet specifically, it says it was posted 8:40 a.m. It says RCMP on megaphone at Unist'ot'en Bridge. This is the RCMP. This airspace is now restricted. Do not operate any drone in this area. This restriction is approved by Transport Canada. It says, this is not Canada, you are invaders. Leave, basically what that person said. So it kind of got me curious, is that actually true? Where people were using drones and then all of a sudden Transport Canada said, nope, this is a no-fly zone now. So they want to stop people from actually using drones to document the event when there's no real, from what I gather, safety issue. That was the confusing part. Because I guess at first I was trying to figure out, okay, where exactly is this area? So I tried to look at their site, but unfortunately, I guess because of where it is, there's no real address, just like maps of various places. So in looking at some of these maps, it says here the Unist'ot'en Camp, and this is the Coastal GasLink Pipeline Project area. So it's around like Kitmat from what I've seen. So I tried to find anything around like Kitmat, like that area within the no-fly zones or anything like that, but you can see even from the Research Council map, that's basically there's nothing there in terms of that specific area that they showed that line. There is an aerodrome further north, but for the most part it's a yellow zone, it's not like red, but they're still really far away from it. So I was looking at that saying, no, there shouldn't be any issues technically just flying like a drone in a normal circumstance. And then in terms of a restriction from Transport Canada, I was looking at the NOTAMs and stuff, specifically for that aerodrome area. And again, I don't read anything. I'm going through everything. There's like 5 notices. Everything relates to basically large aircrafts. Like for example, talking about things like Boeings and stuff that you can't use. So what's going on here, huh? Am I missing something? Is a certain side giving inaccurate information? Because at this point, from what I checked, it doesn't add up in terms of saying there's any type of Transport Canada restriction in that specific area, so to speak. That would be something if it was actually true, huh? Where they don't want someone to fly a drone to capture information or video. It kind of reminds me again with that point where the people that are so afraid of this stuff and they say they're so dangerous. I guess one argument is it's for commercial reasons because they want control of the airspace, or could it be the other reason where they don't want like the regular average person to be able to see things which they shouldn't normally see, so to speak. Then again, I looked at everything again, I couldn't find any information about restrictions, but wouldn't that be something if that was true? I mean, the only other possible scenario I can think of, like the benefit of the doubt, would be saying maybe they told them that just to, I guess, bluff because they don't want them to use it, like in general. That's the only thing I can think of, honestly.
And Oregon has a real nice drive right down the ocean.
I guess that's how nature deals with disputes. No democracy, just barge in, full force. All right, see you guys later.